Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to my yoga room. And I hope everyone is really well today. For all my yoga group, hi, I miss you guys. And for those that are practicing with me from other parts of the world, I'm Stef Neary, and I am thankful that you guys are joining in. So today I just thought that depending on what people are experiencing right now through quarantine and extensions that have been placed on, and just having had Easter, and many of us are not with our families right now, obviously. So I hope everyone had the best time that they could anyway. I thought that I would try to do kind of a gentler, kind of stretchy kind of class. And then I am planning on doing, for those that are familiar with Kundalini Yoga, I'm planning on doing a Nami Kriya, which is about 40 minutes approximately of designed to, it's designed to build and release blockages, not build blockages, but release the blockages that we hold in through our solar plexus. And they say that if you do 40 minutes of that for 40 minutes or 40 days, then you can really break through some of the obstacles and kind of triumph in areas in your life that you may have felt like you were held back in. But besides that, it is an excellent core workout. So if you want to watch your abs transform, which might be a good idea, period, but it really does move through digestive blocks as well. But it does give you a transformation in your abdominals. So if you were to take a before picture and do as much as you can of it, you will build the strength that you need for all types of practices that you are doing. If you're doing yoga, if you're running, if you are walking, if you're cycling, lifting weights, whatever you're doing, this is going to really intensify and give you that feeling that you know that you have really done an intense ab workout. So that will be coming next. But for now, because it's just been the long weekend, I thought that we would do a stretchy kind of practice. Let me go ahead here. The lighting seems a little bit different there. Oh, there. Okay. So come onto your mats. And we'll start off with doing some cat-cow. And just to get the spine a little more lubricated, you do have spinal fluid that does need to move, and that sometimes gets trapped if you're not stretching out the spine. And I know a lot of people aren't if they're not doing regular yoga. So this should feel really good. So spread your fingers wide, coming into table. I'll start off saying sometimes people like to curl their toes under because they can experience cramping, just if the Achilles tendon isn't stretched out. Also cramping in the arches of your feet. are a good indicator that you are not stretching regularly and you perhaps are dehydrated. So make sure that you are spending a lot of time drinking as much water as you can. Okay, so wrists stacked underneath the shoulders and the elbows, and then your knees are hip width apart. So you decide whether you want your toenails down or if you want to curl your toes under. So inhale and arch, exhale and round. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll do a couple more. Inhale, exhale, and then come and sit down. So sit however is comfortable for you. You can do this with your back against the wall too if you want. But we're going to actually spend a little bit of time connecting to our breathing, but also really opening up in between the shoulder blades and the shoulders, because the whole upper body really does get really tight and closed off, especially when people are worried about this quarantine. Listening to the media makes people agitated, anxious, stressed out. Maybe people are worried about older family members that they can't get to. So all of that really, you hold a lot of tension in the shoulders. Frustration is held in the shoulders as well. So besides not practicing regularly and not stretching out as often as you maybe were, or maybe you're brand new. So if you are brand new, congratulations, because the hardest part of doing yoga is beginning. So if you're watching this and you're not what you would call a seasoned yogi, then give yourself some credit for taking the time to be part of this. Okay, so stretch your hands out in front of you. So you're looking at the front of your palms. And that is going to just give you a nice stretch in through the forearms and the wrists. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to move your hands out to the side with your palms still up. Okay, and then bring them back again. Now make some fists. Push your hands down towards the floor. So you're going to get a really nice stretch in through here. It might not feel very nice to you, but it's necessary. And I think it feels really good actually. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to move your fists up while keeping your arms straight. So you might feel tension in through the elbows as well. And that's all translated into the shoulders, right? Because gravity pushes everything down. So make this hands down, stretch that out, and then lift your hands up. Keep your elbows straight and down. It kind of is like, for all those that have been on motorbikes, you might feel like that just popped into my mind, because that reminds me of handlebars. Okay. And then with your fists down, you're going to bring your arms out to the side, keep pressing down. Really open up across the front of the chest. Bring your hands back. Okay, and then just make some circles with your arms straight and your elbows straight. And then you're going to lift up your arms. You're going to cross the right elbow over the left, okay? Eagle arms. So you might only be able to clasp onto a wrist. You might be able to interlock your fingers. Do whatever you can, okay? So you're going to pull the core into the spine, sit up straight, push the elbows away from you. Really open up in between the shoulder blades. And then keep lifting your elbows up. So you're going to get a nice stretch going through the back. And then bring your arms down, stretch, really pull down. If this is not comfortable for you to do sitting down, you can do it standing up as well. Okay, and then release that. Take your arms behind your back, interlock your fingers, and you're gonna bend forward. So again, if you're standing up, you can do it like this too. Lift your elbows up as high as you can. Your hands up. And then release that. And then you're gonna take your arms up again. Left arm over the right this time. Sit up straight again, or if you're standing, you're going to pull the core in. Both instances, push the elbows out away from you while you draw the core into the spine. Lift up, and then pull down. So you might feel it more on this side than you did on the right. And that's just because you're using the same side of your body most of the time, right? So you're in yoga, you always try and build up symmetry, which gives you balance. Okay, and then release that. You might feel some tingling sensations there, that's this blood flow. And then you're gonna bend forward again, even if you're standing. Lift up. Okay, and then come out of that. Take some side body stretches, just to loosen up the whole side body from the hip. Really reach through those fingertips. Even if you can't come down, just come over, stretch over. Breathe through this. So you're exhaling into the side, okay? Inhaling when you're moving towards the posture and exhale when you're softening into it. And last one. Now remember, you can do, even though if I'm stopping short of what you would, if that feels really good, you want to keep going, then just go ahead, keep going. Okay, so now you can have your hands onto your knees, or you can grab onto your ankles, and then you're just going to do a spinal grind. So you're inhaling over to one side, exhale to the other. Take this hand, if you're both hands, but you're pushing down the opposite knee when you're rolling forward, okay? So if I'm over here, I'm pushing down on to my left, so I'm getting that side stretch. So you should feel this in the side of your hips as well. And then you're going to change direction. You can do this with your eyes closed. Okay? And then you're going to come back onto hands and knees again. And you're going to bring your knees together like child's pose. And then stretch your arms forward. Bring your forehead down to the mat. And then release your chest down towards the mat, but keep your hips up. So you're going to get right into the shoulders now, and you can tense your fingers to release more. So you're going to feel this right down to the middle of your back. Just take some breaths and soften. And then lift back up. Okay, we're going to curl the toes under and go into down dog. So spread the fingers wide, shoulder width apart. Lift your hips up. And you can bring your heels down if that's accessible to you. Or if that is too much, then just come up onto the toes and bring your torso towards your thighs as you push the ground away and push your head back behind your arms. And then you can lower the heels down as much as you can. Remember, if your hamstrings are tight, you can walk your feet apart. Just releases some of it. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Grab onto your elbows and just ragdoll. Just let everything hang and be heavy. Release your spine. You might need to bend your knees quite a lot, which is absolutely fine. And then bring your hands over to the right. Bring your hands over to the left. Just make some circles. Bring your hand down to your left hand down. Lift your right hand up for a little twist. Bring your right hand down. Take your left hand up. Keep engaging the pelvic floor. And then you're going to walk your hands back to the center or the front of your mat. Bring your knees down together. Squeeze the inner thighs. And then widen your hands and spin the elbows in. Bring your chest down, hips up. Look forward. And then slide in to cobra. And send the hips back. Come forward. Elbows in. And back. Chest down. Hips down. High cobra. Keep pushing the ground away when you're lifting back up. Set your hips back. Come forward. Really stretch the whole front of the body. And then come all the way down. And keep your toes together. Bring your arms out to the sides. Look straight ahead and lift your feet up. Bring your arms out in front of you. You're going to feel sensations in your lower back. Bring the arms out. Bring them back. Out. Back. If that's too much, this is all for back strengthening. If that's too much to keep your arms and your legs up at the same time, then drop your feet down. So there's your modification. You just really want to get some blood going into the kidneys and in the lungs. Okay, bring your arms back beside you. Lift your chest up into high cobra. If that's too much, then you're just gonna do little baby cobras. So see how my elbows are up, hug them into your ribs, and then just lift your chest and then come back down, okay? And then extend the left hand with your fingers, gripping the floor. Take your right foot to your right hand, just for a gentle hip flexor, quad stretch. Let's take a couple breaths here. And then release that. Grip the ground, fingers with the fingers right on the right hand now, and reach back and grab onto the left ankle. Really pull the foot towards the butt. And then you can do that a couple times more if you want, or you can reach around, grab onto your ankles with both hands. Now here, some people aren't able to do that with both hands, so just work on one at a time then. Otherwise, here's a modification. So if you don't have the strength yet to lift up your knees, then look forward and just stay here, but you want to open across the front of the chest, or you can kick your knees up and keep kicking into your hands, and then back down. Now after back bends, you need to stretch out your back again. So coming into child's pose, maybe have your feet and your feet together and your knees apart, and then stretch forward. Just bring your forehead down. Take some deep breaths. Just relax. You're trying to get rid of tension. Let all the thoughts go that are in your mind right now. Take some time for yourself. And then walk your hands over to the right. Take a stretch. You probably will feel this into your armpit. Remember, you can modify by bending your right elbow and bringing your forehead down to your forearm. And then walk your hands over to the left. Right hand stretches forward. Bring your forehead down to your left forearm. If that feels really good, then just stay here. Keep connecting to your breath. And then come forward again. And then curl the toes under. Squeeze the knees together. Stretch out the bottoms of your feet. Walk your hands a little more forward. Send your hips back. Come forward. Have the fingers spread wide. Make sure that your core is activated. Pelvic floor is squeezing up. Okay, and then you're gonna move your right hand over towards your left. Lift up the left knee, or the right knee, bring the right leg straight or into a lunge. And then you can flatten that left foot so the toes, you can feel them in the mat. And you're just gonna open up the front of the left hip flexor. And then lift the right hand up. Keep pressing away from the ground with your left hand. Look to your hand. Sink the hip down. Take the right hand to the right knee. Push the knee away from you. Just a little bit gently. And then you're going to straighten the right knee. Fold over. Flip the feet, the toes up. So you can get a stretch going through your hamstring too. Fold over. And then come forward again. Straighten, lift up the heel, or lift up the toes, keep the heel down. Okay, and then release that. So left leg in a lunge, right leg straight, drop the right hip down, keep the right arm straight, no bent elbows, lift the left hand up and look towards it, keep pushing the ground away, activate the core, and then bring the left hand to the left inside of the knee, push that away a little bit. And then you're gonna send the hips back, straighten over with the foot flat. And then bend forward, open up the right hip flexor. Send that back. Then lift up the toes so you're on the heel, fold forward. You should get a stretch going all through the calf muscle too. And then drop the hip down again. Lift the toes up, straight leg. And then release from that. We're gonna go back to down dog again. So lift the hips up. Push back. Option, open up the hip. Let that knee bend. Foot flop out to the left. Keep pushing the ground away, look under your right armpit. Bring that foot back down. Left leg up. Bend the knee, let the foot flop to the right, look under the left armpit. Bring that foot back down. All right, walk your hands back. Just lift back up. So, widen your feet now. Widen your legs. Look to see that your toes are in one line, so your hips are in one line. And then take your hands to your hips. Push your hips back behind you, fold forward. Bring your hands down. Inhale, push away. Look forward, extend the spine. And exhale, fold. So we'll just be here for a couple breaths. Keep connecting to the pelvic floor. Tighten the quads so you don't hyperextend the hamstrings. And then look forward again. Come up onto the right toes. Just open up the inner thigh so the right knee's bent. Left heel is down and left toes are up. Left leg is straight. So you may be right here. You may be able to fold, come down for a deeper stretch. It will feel like it's stinging. That's normal, so don't freak out over that. And then switch to the other side. Okay, so right toes are up, right heel down, and then just walk your hands close to, well, they're in front of my left foot. All right. So this is fairly gentle. Take your left hand to the inside of your right foot and lift the right hand up. And bring your right hand to the inside of the left foot. And then you're going to roll yourself back up. Now, turn to the front of your mat. Slide the right foot back, but your left knee is in a lunge, okay? So keep this right leg active, and then you're going to just lift the hands up. Look straight ahead. Keep the belly drawn in. You're going to bring the right hand down, lift the left hand up. Come back up. Don't let that knee drop down. Then tent your fingers so you're on the fingertips. And just you're still up on the toes, and the knee is still up, okay? Just drop the hip down. And switch sides. So, slide the left hand back, or the left foot back. And then you're going to bring your arms up again, pull the core in. Bring the left hand down, stretch the right hand up. Look forward again. And lift up. Bring your fingers. Keep the left hip and left leg active. So you're not dropping the knee down to the ground. You're just dropping the hip down, so you're stretching that hip flexor out again. And then go ahead, slide the right foot back. Try and bring the toes together and the heels down. Push away. And then bring the knees down. Maybe take another child's pose if you want. So widen the knees, big toes to touch, sit the hips back, stretch out. Just keep connecting with the breath, keep stretching the arms so you can stretch out your spine. You're creating more space. Let yourself get rid of anything that doesn't serve you, like tension, stress, anxiety. And then you're going to lift up again. Knees are hip width. We're going to thread the needle. Okay, so release more stress from the shoulders. Lift the right hand up. Remember, you're connecting with your lower belly and the core. Then you're going to thread the needle. Bring the right shoulder down. Stretch the left hand forward. So just come down onto the shoulder and the ear. And then you're going to switch sides. So left hand stretches up, and then thread that through, come down onto the left shoulder, stretch the right hand forward. Really inch forward with your fingertips, grip the ground so you can get a nice stretch through the left shoulder. And then come out of that. Now, let's try and do some cow's head, cow's face. Okay, so remember, both knees are stacked up on top of each other. I know sometimes this is a difficult posture to do. Very effective though for releasing a lot of tension in the shoulders and the hips at the same time. Top and bottom of the spine. So then you're going to bend the right knee. Okay, so sometimes people feel like they're leaning back like this and they have no idea how they're going to be able to sit up. So if that's you, then take your hands beside you and push into the floor and just have your foot like this, okay? So don't worry about doing full cow's face. Otherwise, you want to feel both sit bones down, okay? So both butt cheeks are down on the mat. You're going to flex your feet. Okay, you might not be able to do this, but keep the feet flexed anyway. Even if you're back here, the more that you bring your feet out with your feet flexed, the bigger of a stretch you're going to get. So you determine what you want. Okay, so before we go into full cow's face, just lean your torso down without grabbing onto your feet. You may just want to walk your hands forward as well. Just open up the front or the side of the right hip. And you probably feel your left hip too. Okay, and then come back up. Okay, so you're going to take your right hand up, left hand behind the back. Wiggle the hands into the center of the spine, and then grab whatever you can. Now you can use a towel, you can use a tie, you can use a yoga strap, whatever you have, and then you're going to fold forward. And then come back up and just rebalance the shoulders, extend the arms out. And then you're going to switch. So left knee onto the right knee and feet flexed. And then see what your body feels like on this side. Just fold forward. Just let the weight of your torso fall onto your thighs. You can walk your hands forward if you want. Really breathe into any tightness. You want to let it all go. You can even walk your hands over to the right when you're on your left side. Get more of a stretch. Walk your hands over to the left. These are just optional, just for you to try out. Might feel really good to some of you. And then now you're going to take your left hand up, bend the elbow. Take your right hand behind you, try and clasp the fingers. Now, my left shoulder is always tighter due to double reconstructive surgery in my shoulder, so I have less mobility or less range of motion in it. I keep working on it though. And now you're going to fold forward. And then come back up. Rebalance your shoulders again. And then bring your feet together for Uttanasana. Bound angle pose in English. Okay, so think about it as opening up a book. You're going to take your thumbs into the arches of your feet, sit up nice and straight, pull the elbows into the ribs, hips going forward, keep the elbows there, don't lose contact, and then elbows are going to bend and you are going to go forward, and your goal is to try and bring your forehead down to the floor. Let's take some nice deep breaths. Come back up. Inhale, exhale. And then take an inhale, pull the chest forward. Drop your chin down to your chest. Same thing, elbows
stay contacted with the ribs. Bring your head towards your feet. And then lift back up. All right. So hopefully that feels really good to you. And now sit nice and comfortable. And you're just going to take this left shoulder, bring it towards the right knee so you get a nice stretch. And then same thing, right shoulder towards the left knee. And just release any tension that's in your lower back. And then you're going to bring your right foot out to the side, so toes are pointing up and left knee is bent, okay? And then you're going to stretch over, nice inner thigh stretch, nice outer hip on the left. Don't worry about it if you can't get into the full expression of the posture, it doesn't matter. The more that you keep practicing it, then you'll be able to surprise yourself that it actually works. And so your knee might be bent like this, might feel like completely uncomfortable. But I mean, even if I'm right here like this with my knee bent and I lean over, I can still feel a big stretch right where you need to anyway, right? So be patient with yourself. And then slide forward. Keep the toes up. And then walk your hands back up. Take your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you, sit up straight, inhale, exhale and twist. And then take your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you, inhale and twist, exhale. And then you're going to switch. Okay, so left foot, left leg extends out, toes are up, and right knee is bent. And then stretch over to the left. Really open up the whole side body. Stretch out the kidneys and the lungs and the spleen. And then come back up and keep the foot flexed. Lean forward. And then slide back. Take your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. Little mini twist here. And then right hand to the left knee and left hand behind you. Inhale and exhale. Keep the core activated the entire time. And then good, come out of that. All right, bring the feet up. Okay, keep the toes pointed. So you're just gonna stretch out just like we did with the hands and the wrists. You're gonna stretch So point the toes. Keep the legs nice and active, nice and tight. Keep your back on the floor, and you're just gonna make fists with your toes. And no bent knees. And then flex your feet, and then point, and flex, point. Just let all the blood recirculate and integrate in your body. Then bring your legs out. And then bring your legs together. Bring your hands underneath your butt and your legs straight. And you're just gonna do some stretches for your hamstrings. It's also very good for activation of the core, so your feet are flexed and it's like a long stride. So you can walking. Now, don't be like this, okay? Because you're not actually doing anything, and you don't walk like that. You don't walk on your tiptoes all floppy. So if your feet are pointing up to the ceiling, your feet are flexed like you're standing on them. And then you can see what your range of motion is. So you might still just be right here, but be mindful of it and push the low back into the floor. So while this is not meant to be a challenging yoga class, it is essential for getting a good stretch anyway. But you're making the whole body work together as one. So big, nice stretch through the inner thigh and the hamstring and where the sciatica lives. Keep the core activated the whole time. Keep pushing the back into the floor. Okay, and then you might be able to really stretch out. So both feet are flexed still. Don't worry if you can't do that. Just stay where you need to. So my feet aren't actually touching the floor. The heels are hovering, but the feet are still flexed. All right, so now bend the left knee, have the foot down, and then just slide your hands up. And just stretch out the right hamstring. Maybe you can bring your head towards your knee. And then maybe you can bring the foot out to the side. You can keep the leg long and straight if you want, or you can have the knee and the foot on the knee bend and the foot flat. So depending on your flexibility. And then switch. Okay, so just walk your hands up. You might only be able to be right here, but bring your head to your knee. And then release your head back down and take your right hand out and your left foot out to the side, and maybe you can straighten. So you're gonna feel a nice hip flexor stretch there as well. And keep your heel down to make it heavy. And then hug your knees into your chest. We're gonna wrap it up now. So thanks for practicing with me. You can go into Savasana, or you can go into Supta Baddha Konasana for more hip opening. You can stretch your arms up behind you. And I'm just going to take a quick cat stretch. So just pull the right knee in to the ribs, and then keep your left hand on the outside of the right knee, and then right hand out. Look towards your right hand as you bring your left knee to the left. Great for detoxification. And then you're going to switch sides. So pull the left knee in, and then take your left knee to the right as you look towards your left hand. And then you can kick your feet out to the edges of the mat. Lie flat down. Take your hands out. Just fall into your mat. Close your eyes. Connect to your breathing again. Let everything go. Breathe through the nose. And exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. So stay there and just lay and relax. Or you can roll yourself up. And thanks for practicing with me. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Bye.